today we're going to be looking at student interaction in online sessions. Some of the teachers that we're working with are teaching online in a hybrid model. Some people are teaching online full stop. Some people are anticipating going online at some point in the school year. So there are a lot of different realities and a lot of different scenarios that teachers are dealing with. So we wanted to maybe address that. And so welcome to the session. And when I say we, I mean an entire team of consultants that we informally have called, actually even formally, MAD2, which stands for Music, Arts, Drama, and Dance. And these are the people that are on the team. Many of them are here today. My name is Sylvia Bielec, and I work for Learn as well as the Cree School Board. This is the third session that we've held. We hold these sessions sometimes without having all the answers, but having some answers, and with the intention of sharing the answers that we do have as quickly as possible, so that we can start a conversation and enrich everyone as quickly as possible. So we are dealing with unprecedented times and things are moving quickly. So we wanted to also try to see if we could move quickly. And one thing that struck us when we were talking about this idea of student interaction, and I know that Lynn Harper, who's here, she's the one that did the last session that we did on planning. I know that Lynn, you've spoken a lot about students and their needs at this time, especially the emotional needs that they might have. And Lynn has been very eloquent about how the students that she teaches, who are from grade 7 to grade 11, that they are anxious and stressed and worried, and some of them are not coping very well. So I know that you might have students like that as well. And so the thing that we want to take away is that online interaction or in-person interaction or any interaction begins with sort of the importance of human connection. So anytime you want something from students, you have to first establish a relationship with them. And once that relationship is established, they will do anything for you. They will do anything that you ask. So this quote was one that resonated with us. In a world of algorithms, hashtags, and followers, know the true importance of human connection. And it's this human connection, that sort of like lowers our heart rate and lowers our pulse and allows us to breathe deeply. And that's what everyone needs, including ourselves. So let's, all of us, just take a deep breath in before we begin. So let's go. Hold it in a bit and then let it out. I know that many of you have had a full day and you have done good things and bad things, and so have your students. And so it's a time to shake it off and hopefully connect today with us and with each other a little bit. And this is something that we also liked, and it's a quote from Fred Rogers, who you might know as Mr. Rogers. If only you could sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet, how important you can be to people you may never even dream of. There is something of yourself that you leave at every meeting with another person. So your online classes are meetings with people, and you bring a part of yourself. And the more of yourself that you can bring to those meetings, the more human connection that you foster, and the more interaction you will have from students, the more they will be willing to meet you halfway. So let's begin with a little interaction. Actually, I'm going to let you go to this. I'm going to let you go to this poll, and you can go to it by clicking the link that I've put in the chat. And you can answer the question. Please select the picture that describes how you're feeling today. So there are a bunch of pictures. I hope you can see them. and you would click on the one that you like the most or the one that you feel like the most. So let's say today I'm feeling like this, and then you would click there and then you would hit vote. In order to do that, oh, look at that. In order to do that, you have to go into the chat and click on the link that I've put in the chat, or conversely, go to the slides that that we put in the email that you got and go to slide number 6 and follow that link. So both ways are good. I see there are 5 votes for number 1. Ooh, so everyone's feeling like this. A lot of people are feeling like this. Oh, another person's joined me here. Okay. Nice. Let me refresh. Oh, so number one is in the lead. $11 votes. Frank, this is the Kandinsky.
Sorry, let me just see. I was just trying to vote myself. Which
number one. This one.
That's the Pollock.
Pollock. Yeah. Sorry, I'm very bad with matching.
Okay.
So Jackson Pollock is what many people feel like. Let me refresh. Although this next one is running neck and neck. Nice. So you're free to keep clicking, keep selecting which one you feel most like. We're welcoming people this whole time. New people are joining us. So if you're just joining us now, we're going to the straw poll that I have put in the chat, and I'm going to put in the chat again because you only see the chat from when you arrive, and you don't see anything previously. So this is a nice way, creating a little poll like this is a nice way to get people to right away interact, and you get a sense of where people are at. We created this one ourselves, so we put those pictures in ourselves. And you're able to do that too with a polling thing like a non-vote or any other one. You're able to put in whatever you want and then have people choose. You're able to have as many choices as you want. And yes, absolutely, using the chat is also a very viable option for sharing how you feel. So that gives us a sense of what people are feeling like and where your mind is. Today we basically have 3 parts planned. We're going to briefly, so right now in the first part, we're briefly going to discuss the elements of a balanced online session. And this is just our approach, our way of seeing it. It's not the only way of seeing it. It's just the way that we've decided to lay it out for now. Then we're going to focus on specifically one piece of that balanced online session, which is fostering student interaction. There are going to be some breakout rooms that you're going to be invited to. You're going to select one that you like, and then we're going to come back together and we're going to have a debrief and a discussion where we're going to be learning together, and we're going to co-create some notes on some slides that we're going to ask you to participate in. So that's the rundown of the session. So we were thinking that no matter what you're planning, whether you're planning an hour or you're planning however long it happens to be your online session, we like to think of sort of like it having 4 parts, and these parts are not necessarily in any particular order, but it helps both you and learners if you've chunked things in ways that allow them to do a variety of different things in an hour. And the other thing is that you do not have to lecture or be the one speaking for that whole time. So you can plan different things for them to do when you in fact are not going to be saying very much. So, we think that every sort of art class, no matter what art you're teaching, should have a time for some sort of interactive activity for students. So something where they're able to interact with you and with each other in some way. There might be time for a demo or an explanation of some sort. So a demo of a technique or a demo of something that you want them to do or follow along with me maybe, although that could be also an interactive activity, like if I'm thinking of dance classes. You might be explaining something, you might be explaining how to do something to them. Then there's going to be also a time for students to do something. So you might give students a task that you expect them to do during your session, during that hour long or 50 minutes or however long you have. And again, I refer back to Lynn. Lynn assigns something and she expects it due at the end of that period in her inbox, and or at the end of the morning, at the end of the afternoon. That's a time frame that you decide. So you will decide on if you want students to be accountable for the things they've done, and you want to be able to see that they've done it. So you will have to have them send it to you in some way. Now, there are a lot of different ways that students can send you things that they're doing that are not digital. And one of the ways is simply to photograph it or record it with their device that they have at home often. And sometimes they don't, but often in a distance situation, they will at least have been given a device by the school. So they, even if they don't have their own, they will often have a school device that they will be able to use to either take a photograph of the thing that they're doing, or record themselves in an audio file or a video file. My colleagues from MAD2, do you have anything to add, or did you want to jump in at any time here?
Well, you've mentioned having an exit ticket. For me, it's really important that the kids feel they can take part in, even if they're at home. Like, for example, I had grade 10 at home and I had half here and half at home. So while we did a viewing, we did an analysis, the kids at home did it as well. They had the link to the video if they wanted to watch it again. I showed it on the smart board. And so the kids were then able to talk about it. It doesn't matter to me if they're at home or whether they're sitting in front of me. They all feel that they can add to the conversation. And so for me, it's like having little polls, doing little questionnaires, doing a little bit of debate, something to engage them all in the activity. Yeah, that's sort of what I wanted to say.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, so Lynn, if you hadn't guessed by now, Lynn is teaching in a hybrid model. So she has some kids in class, some kids at a distance, changes all the time. I guess it's always a party, Lynn, or something. So time for students to do something, and then also the idea of sharing work and answering questions. So the ability for students to share work with each other. You can do that in different ways. You could probably structure smaller sessions, or you could have students share, depending on whether you're using Teams or another platform. You can have students share and then have them chat about it if they're not going to be talking about it or showing themselves or using voice. So there are different ways, but some sort of sharing of work, some sort of collegiality when it comes to art making, which all the arts have in common, where you're never doing anything in a vacuum. You're always doing it to have a reaction from someone, or have some sort of feedback on what you're doing on multiple levels. So those are the four elements that I would use to structure my session. It also allows you to not feel like you have this hour to fill. And the chunking, as I said before, the chunking helps students move them through something, because they do have a lot of Zooms they do have a lot of online classes in a day. So Zoom fatigue is a real thing. Online classroom fatigue the code is now Zoom fatigue, but it could be any platform. Obviously, Teams fatigue, Google Classroom fatigue, whatever you happen to be using. So we're going to be looking today at this idea of an interactive activity for students, or having students do something, interact with you in some way. And we're going to have a variety of ways for students to interact. Doing that in a variety of breakout rooms. Now, I just wanted to do a little parenthesis to tell you that even though we're not going to be addressing this particular topic, we do have it in our slide deck. So I know that this is a burning question in a lot of teachers' minds, and a lot of teachers' discussion forums and online spaces where teachers gather. Cameras on or off has been the subject of numerous articles and also a lot of opinions. There's even a little fun thing that you've probably seen with the differences between whether you teach in an elementary school or you teach in a high school. I've seen one, but I wasn't able to find it for our session. I've seen one where the high school one is just the teacher and just black squares, just, you know, darkened squares, because none of the kids have their cameras on. So that is a reality. We're not going to get into it a lot, but we have given you 2 sources which we thought were pretty cool. And one is to let students keep their cameras off during Zoom classes, an article, 5 reasons. And then another one, which is a short video. And if we have time, we might take a watch. We might watch the video. It's only like a 3-minute video. And they both present sort of a balanced account with arguments on both sides, and then you can make up your own mind. And also, of course, maybe you will be able to influence your school's policy if should the policy already exist. Are there any questions so far? We still have people joining us, so people are going to be jumping in where they can. Yes, thank you, Lynn, for sharing the straw poll in the chat. So if there are no questions, I'm gonna explain to you how this next part is gonna work. We've never done this before with all of you. Obviously, we've practiced it amongst ourselves twice already with mixed results, mixed technical results. But you know, this is the third time's a charm, right? This is the time where it's all going to be great. So we have 4 breakout rooms for you to join. Now, you will choose the one that you want. All of them are might be attached. Some of them are attached to an art, some of them are not, but all of them are, I would say, art agnostic, in the sense that the activity that you do in these is applicable to the art that you teach. So it's either an appreciation thing, or it's a you know, a creation thing, and you will be able to use it no matter what art you teach. So now, 4 of them. There's listen to your eyes. I think it was listen to your eyes, or maybe I wrote it wrong and it was listen with your eyes. One of those 2. The other one is colorful building blocks. There's knee-jerk reaction, and there's me, myself, and I. Those are the 4 breakout rooms, and you have a choice of which one to go to. And the facilitators are going to be also joining you. There will be a facilitator in that breakout room where you will be, and they will take you through a 20-minute activity, and then we will all have a great time, and then we'll all come back to this main room with each other, and we will do another interaction, debrief, etc. Okay, that was colorful building blocks. Thank you so much. What about knee-jerk reaction? Who is in knee-jerk reaction who wants to share their experience and give a brief synopsis?
Someone, let's go.
I'll go.
Oh, yay. Thanks, Emily.
So we looked at how to make reaction videos to either short films in drama, but it can be applicable to music, dance, or visual arts. And having students see something for the first time and recording themselves on how they feel about the piece using the terminology we've been studying in class. And it's great. It's a nice different take on appreciations, and I think it'll come in handy both in person and online.
Cool. What a great synopsis. Amazing. So Nick, did you want to add anything to that? Any clarification? No?
No, she's perfect. I think that you'll see that we recorded it so you can watch it, but it's really yeah, it's really using a tool that was made popular by kids on YouTube, I think. So I thought of making something useful out of my wasted time watching videos on YouTube. So it's really, yeah, it's an arts appreciation exercise. So thank you.
Yeah, and I know that reaction videos in general are like a kind of a cool thing to make. You know, there are a lot of them. You have sort of like stars that make them, or you know, actors that make. Some of them are funny, so people can get really involved. I know that it's also big in the gaming sphere. So a lot of people have reactions to themselves gaming and things like that. So it speaks to a little bit of the what I want to call like a native genre of a generation, and that's always a hard difficult chasm for sometimes for us to franchir. That's the French word. I don't have I'm blanking on the English word, but I think that it's worth it. You know, I think it's worth connecting to students where they are. I think it's worth doing.
I think so. What I think it's really interesting is that you make a reaction. So basically you're giving feedback on a performance live. And what's really cool is watching yourself after giving feedback, and I watched me, and I'm like that was okay, but I could have added this and that and that. So it could be a tool for giving feedback on feedback. And I think the more you know about competency 3, the more you can become at 1 and 2 and whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely, super cool. Okay, what about listen with your eyes? No, look with your eyes. No.
Listen to your eyes.
Listen to your eyes. Sorry, I have a child. She's behind me now. That's what happens when you're at home doing a Zoom. Yeah. What about listen with your eyes? To your eyes.
I like Nick's strong arm approach. Come on, somebody, right?
No, we're listening.
And what people don't realize is that I have an infinite capacity for waiting.
I can share.
Amazing.
I'm going to keep my camera off because my thingy is so slow, just making everything more complicated. But
that's fine.
So we kind of were connected to this straw poll thing, and we were talking about which paintings that we chose, and like immediately I was like writing down ideas of how to connect this to my English class, my history class, my dance classes. Like, I think not only can this be used for any arts, but it can be used for pretty much any subject. I'm very excited to use this. I'm like so excited to hear about all of these things because, as I said, I'm teaching in the virtual school. I'm not very techy, and so any kind of help is greatly appreciated. So I really liked it. I liked hearing everybody's chosen painting and why they're feeling that way. And I think this is going to spark really great conversation with students.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a very, very good synopsis. Frank, do you have anything to add?
Well, I'm leaving now. That's as good as it gets.
That's it. That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop moment.
No, but you know what? I think that all the MAD2 team was trying to build things that were simple or that could be adapted to you, to your use, whatever that is. And it doesn't have to be. I like that McLean said, you know, for our English classes or whatever class you're teaching, it doesn't. It's very simple. So just to elaborate, when you came in, you picked a painting that maybe how you were feeling, and that drove some of the conversation within our group. And then after that, it could have changed. And we have somebody in our group that picked all of them and said that at every given point, at any given point in the day, he felt like one of those paintings, you know. And then Moksha and I we were really trying to you know, just highlight that it could be used in so many different ways. Like if you just were teaching dance and you could put different kinds of dance and ask students to be more engaged in what they're doing so they have a reaction all the time. So I think that's our goal today for us, was just to get you to react. So thanks everybody for looking in that group.
Okay, well, the last but not least was the me, myself, and I. I know that a couple of people messaged me privately saying that they had to go, so they're not here, but I do have their memes that they've created. So who is here from the me, myself, and I who wants to do a synopsis? Just a brief one. If you were there, will you remember? Turn on your mic, say a few words. Infinite capacity for waiting. Lynn is telling me privately, and this is my life, because I guess she asks students for input. I know that some people are here. Just say a few words. You know you want to. You just have to synopsize it.
Okay, I can say a few words.
Go ahead. Amazing.
But I did get my computer or my internet went down, so I didn't get to see the end of it. That's why I hesitate.
Oh, that's okay.
But I did create one, but then I had to rejoin to this
Okay.
to the forum. I got cut off.
Oh no.
So,
Well, it was very quick. Yeah.
so I didn't see what happened after in everybody's memes, but
I'll show them.
I've put up a few memes in the art room because they kind of make myself laugh when I look at them. I don't know if they make the kids. I didn't even know what they were a year ago. So that in itself is kind of funny, but it's a universal message that you can attach to an image that either people will get or they won't. And depending on the popularity of your meme would be how universal it is. So it may be popular amongst a certain age group and not all age groups, or it might be popular just with teachers or certain categories of people.
Right.
Don't know if that.
Yes, that's great. Yeah. So we looked at exactly as you said, Christine. Thank you. We looked at memes, and we also made some memes. We generated some. I'm going to show them because I have them here, and they're not that many. So there are a couple of memes. So this was one. Teachers, I mean, these are memes created by teachers, obviously reacting to their lives or something that they had in their curriculum. That was the task. Then there's this one. I let you look at those. One that made us all laugh out loud. Oh, it does not get old. This one does not get old. Yeah, so these are some of the memes that were made, and then we looked at the templates that people can use, and I think the last salient bit is that obviously we were making the memes ourselves, but the goal is to get the kids to make memes, and they might choose things that we might not choose, and vice versa, and we might not find the same things funny, and that's okay, right? Because it's like a bridging thing. We might meet in the middle somewhere, but they're the ones that are going to be making something for us, and by doing that, they will have to use synthesis and analogies, as well as try to get your material into a meme form or their understanding of it. So there's a complexity of it. There's a complexity in it, but it's actually very simple to execute. So that's something that I thought was really cool. So the last thing that we're going to do together is we're all going to go and meet. I'm just going to go back to sharing my screen. So we have a question for you. I know that a lot of you have already been doing cool stuff and are planning to do cool stuff to foster student interaction. So what we're going to do is we're going to generate a page of notes that we can all refer to later on. So you won't just have your idea, but you'll have all the ideas. So you're going to go back to this document, which I think I'll just copy and paste. Where do I find my thing? Can someone else paste it, please? Because I can't find my chat. Can't find my Zoom pull down menu. It's not there. Oh, I found it. So I have made 2 slides that are like this. 2 slides for our thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to those slides, you're going to make a text box, and you're going to write, and you're going to maybe make it smaller than 14 points, let's say 13. And I say, I'm I'm going to get students to blah, blah, etc. That's just an example. You're not going to actually write that. You're going to write whatever you want. You're going to choose your font. You're going to choose your size or whatever. So whenever you're ready, what have you been doing, are planning to do to foster student interaction? What are some neat things that you've done, cool things? What are your plans for the future? You can choose to write in any font color that you want. So once again, you are going to click on text box and then make a little text box.
I'm so sorry to do this. How do I get to that again?
In the chat, hopefully, maybe, one of my colleagues has put in the file. Yes, Michael Clark. Michael has put in the file. So if you click on the file, you will open this up and you will go to slide 29 and 30. And I've even made a comment on someone else's, on Lynn's idea. I made a comment. So that's fun too. And then I made an arrow. Look at this. And this way, we have a very quick page of notes that we can all enjoy later on. But this is also a good way for you to, this is also modeling a way that you might have students annotate one thing or put all their ideas in one place. Maybe this could be a group brainstorm that you might do.
It's really interesting to watch the ideas filtering in. And it really doesn't matter which art you teach. If you kind of look at some of them, I have a question actually. Hang on. How many people are, when you're teaching with students or teaching students, are you having difficulty getting them to respond to you? How many people are teaching virtual and having difficulty? Just put a thumbs up, or you could just do this or do the reaction one. It doesn't really matter to me. In my case, when I'm looking at kids, I'm trying to get them to come in. I speak to them by name because in my mind, if you're online or if you're in front of me, you are all here. And I want them to feel like it doesn't matter. You could be miles away. It doesn't matter. You're here. You're mine for this period of time, and welcome. And today I also teach ERC. And so today we had started a discussion yesterday. And so the people who were here yesterday were online today. And so I literally just continued the discussion, and I wanted the kids who were sitting in front of me to understand, the conversation just continued. It really doesn't matter where you're sitting, where your chair is, it doesn't matter. And so they're getting better at it. At first it was really, difficult. But now they're starting to understand that they bring something unique to the conversation. So in terms of musicians, they bring something different. They bring something unique and important to the discussion of analysis of music, to just to the experience that we're going through today. My grade 10s did a discussion about their own musical preferences. So everybody mattered in that moment. And I think that's really important, that they feel that they matter, because they're feeling very left out. I said this to somebody today, that as my grade 11s were leaving today, they said, "Miss, we're missing Halloween because they're not here tomorrow." And they're grade 11, you think they wouldn't care, but they care. And so to me, that emotional part for them, for all of my kids, is so, so, so important. I have given out chunks of chocolate this week because I just think they all need that. They all need, my first question to them when they come in is, "How are you?" And I want an honest answer. How are you? How can I help you? Because that really, they're needing that so badly. Sylvia, you can take it away.
We are planning to hold more sessions If there are things that you would like to hear about, you can write to us. You can also post in our Facebook group that a lot of you are members of. If you don't know about this Facebook group, it's called MAD2 on Facebook. I think we have, just under 100 participants from Quebec here. You can also write in the chat if there's something that is like, hey, can you please do a session on X, and you already know what that is. You can definitely just write in the chat, and we're going to save the chat and go through it. We're planning on holding more of these throughout the year, as we said. We hope you come, or we hope you tell your colleagues. As always, we share our experiences and our best practices, and we don't think that they're the only way to go, but we want to share sooner rather than later so that we begin to create capacity and everyone can grow and get better. We always have a moment for sharing, and it's at the end. So if you feel that the spirit moves you to share, it's a good time now. And if not, then we will see you shortly on a Zoom near you.